Hello everyone, this is Marine and I am back today with a super cute and colorful Tada diorama featuring a mix and match of unicorns, rainbows and fairies for a bright and magical Valentine's Day card. So without further ado, let's see what we need to create this new Tada diorama. We have the unicorn and fairies from A Little Sparkle, another unicorn, more fairies and a long cloud from Unicorn Picnic, one more unicorn and a rainbow from My Rainbow, clouds and more rainbows from All the Clouds. My greeting is from Magic Heart Messages. We have the Tada Diorama die set, the Scripty Love die, and the Scripty Love outline add-on. As always, I will use a double slider surprise die to make handles, and dies from the Hearts and Stars skinny tag die set to cut 2 little hearts, and I will use this paper from the Candy Cane Lane 6x6 paper pack. So we are going to start with the coloring. As always, I used lawnfawn jet black ink to stamp my images on Nina Solar white cardstock. I cut them all with the coordinating dies and I am going to color everything with my Ohuhu markers and my graphite brush markers in a color palette which to me is perfect for Valentine. I am using reds, pinks and aquas to color all my cute images. So now let's start working on the diorama. I cut 2 side panels out of Strathmore Bristol smooth cardstock, and I am going to color the largest sections first. I am using washi tape to divide my panels, and I am going to cover both sections with spun sugar oxiding first. Now, I am going to add pink and red hearts to those pink panels, and I want those hearts to be consistent. I mean, I want a red heart, a pink heart, a red heart, and so on. So I am going to fold each side panel in half, and I am going to place them on my grip mat just like that, with the folded edges next to each other. And I am going to use the layered hearts background stencils along with one lipstick and festive berries oxidings. As I was saying, I want a red heart, a pink heart, a red heart, and so on. So you're going to see me count the hearts to make sure I get the design I want. So now that I have a beautiful hard background, I am going to add texture to my panels. And as very often, I am starting with water splatters that I am drying with a paper towel. Next, I am going to add brightness with Copic Opaque white ink. I mixed the ink with a couple of water droplets. Now, since we are showcasing unicorns and rainbows, we definitely need to add lots of sparkling splatters with liquid stardust. And to bring a little bit more contrast, I am going to mix some festive berries oxiding with water and add more splatters to my panels. But not too much, we don't want to get a blood splatter effect. So I am going to set my panels aside, and while they are drying, I am going to work on the back panel. I cut it using another die from the Tada Diorama die set, and just like the side panels, I cut this panel out of Strathmore Bristol smooth cardstock, and I am going to create a nice cloudy sky using the cloudy stencil, along with salvage patina and peacock feathers oxidings. And when I make a cloudy sky, I like to add the light ink first, add the dark ink, and then add the light ink again to mix the color and get a cool shading. Just like the heart panels, I am going to add texture to my back panel, starting with water droplets. Next, peacock feathers oxide ink and water splatters and white splatters. Now I am going to fold the second scoreline on each side panel, and these will go just like that on the back panel. So I am going to add clouds on the middle section of each side panel to get a whole cohesive cloudy background. I added double-sided tape on the slim sections, and I am going to use the slot dies to cut slots out of each panel. The die with the foot on the left goes on the left side, and the die with the foot on the right goes on the right side. I am going to place the die between the score lines and line it up with the bottom edge, just like so. And I am going to do the same with the other slot die. I am placing it between the score lines and along the bottom edge. And I am going to send both panels to my die cutting machine to cut 2 slots out of my panels. And here we go. Let's bring the back panel back. I am going to peel the backing papers of the left panel. I am folding it in half. And I am going to line it up with the left edge of the back panel just like so. Now, same with the second side panel, backing papers off. I am folding the panel in half, and I am going to place it right up against the first side panel, just like that. And we can already see that it's going to look super cute. Now I am going to work on the front of my diorama. I cut a panel out of a candy cane lane paper, and I am going to cut a window out of it to create a frame. I also cut 2 bands and added double-sided tape on each tab on both ends of the bands. I am going to flip my front panel over, fold the tabs on the band behind, and line up the notch on the band with the notch on the panel, just like so. And the same with the second band. I am going to fold the tabs behind and then line up the notch on the band with the notch on the panel. And since I want the scene inside the diorama to take place up in the sky among the clouds, I cut the inserts out of acetate. And it's not very clear here, but each insert piece have a score line at the 4 corners. So I am going to bend those score lines. And since acetate is a little bit harder to work with than paper, I am pressing quite firmly on each score line to get a nice fold. Now I am going to feed each end of my insert piece through a slot, just like so. And once the tabs are on the other side of the panel, I can unfold them to secure the acetate insert piece inside the diorama. And to complete my Tada diorama card base, I am going to feed each side panel through a band at the back of the front panel, just like so. And then we will move on to my favorite part of the process. We are going to stick the images both on the front panel and inside of the diorama. I am starting with the front panel. I cut a Scripty love out of tomato cardstock and attached it to a Scripty love outline panel I cut out of Tide Pool cardstock. I am sticking it at the bottom of my front panel using 1mm foam squares, and then the images using 1mm and 2mm foam squares and liquid glue as well. Here I am going to stick the long cloud to the insert front piece. The cloud fits perfectly inside the diorama. We just need to feed each end of the cloud through the slots, and the cloud will be able to slide when we open and close the diorama. So we are almost done. I am going to add highlights and details to the images using my white gel pen. A little bit of white blizzard nuvo drops to the fairy's wings and unicorn's horns, and glossy accents to the Scripty love to make it super shiny. I white heat embossed this very pretty heart-shaped happy Valentine's Day greeting on pastel pearlescent vellum and cut it with the matching die. I am going to assemble my Tada diorama one last time, and then I will stick my heart greeting right to the side panels. But I am going to make a mistake. I am going to stick the entire heart while I should have cut it in half first. But I am going to realize my mistake pretty quickly, and I was able to fix it. And unless you've seen this video, no one will ever know. And the last final details. Since the Tada diorama die set was released, I've always liked to add handles on each side, so I cut the handles out of tight pull cardstock using a die from the Double Slider Surprise die set. And I also cut hearts out of Guava Cardstock using a die from the Hearts and Stars Skinny Tag die set. And I am going to decorate each handle with a heart for an ultimate touch of cuteness. And that's it, we are done. This is our final Tada diorama. Super cute and extra bright. I hope that you like it. Thank you so much for stopping by and for watching this video. Have a very nice day and see you next time. Bye!